On the surface, Beastland looked like the most insane YouTube collaboration ever created. Neon lights everywhere, giant games, rides that had MrBeast written all over them. But once you dig past all the hype, this park starts to feel less like a fantasy and more like one of the shadiest brand deals any YouTuber has ever signed. Cause here's where it gets interesting. Beastland wasn't constructed in Florida, Tokyo, or even LA. It was constructed in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, the exact same Saudi Arabia where filming accidents gets you massive fines, authorities can demand you erase footage, and where the country's freedom rating lands at a terrible 9 out of 100. That's also the place where migrant labor abuse is hitting record highs. So today, we're exposing how Beastland transformed from the wildest YouTuber project in history into one of MrBeast's most controversial moves ever. When MrBeast first revealed Beastland, the internet literally stopped. A legitimate theme park, not some warehouse setup, not a temporary film set, but an actual full-scale amusement park with custom rides, games, and live challenges. Prizes worth more than apartments, catapult games standing taller than buildings, and trapdoor stunts pulled straight from his video thumbnails. Zip lines, mazes, roller coasters, everything you could imagine. He claimed it would give fans a chance to compete in his videos for real. It sounded incredible, but then people started noticing red flags. When fans questioned why Saudi Arabia, MrBeast offered a vague answer. It's centrally located, makes it convenient for everyone to visit, but that excuse collapsed quickly. Community notes exposed him instantly. Turns out, Beastland was already locked into a contract he signed with Riyadh Season, a giant entertainment program bankrolled by the Saudi government. So, the park wasn't created for fans, it was created for money. Listen, Saudi Arabia has been spending billions attempting to clean up its image. Celebrity appearances, global sports takeovers, influencer deals, all of it, and Beastland matched that strategy perfectly. This had nothing to do with central location, it was locked into a contract, and the deeper people dug into the details, the messier it became. When the Beastland ticketing website launched, fans actually bothered to read the terms and conditions, and that's when things completely blew up. The guidelines prohibited professional cameras or filming equipment, blocked re-entry, and required every guest to agree to being filmed by the organizers. Oh, and here's the insane part. The park's organizers claimed zero liability for injuries or even death. Beyond that, visitors had to follow Saudi Arabia's public decency regulations. And if that sounds confusing, let me explain. You can face fines for basic things like recording strangers, filming accidents, or refusing to delete content. Sharing clips online without official approval, that can run you thousands. So if a ride malfunctions, a game breaks, or someone gets injured, documenting it becomes illegal. Officials could literally destroy all evidence. In America, if something goes wrong, it's trending in 5 minutes, but at Beastland, the government could erase it entirely. That's when people began understanding this project wasn't simply about entertainment, it was about censorship. Beastland started appearing less like a fan experience and more like a state-sponsored propaganda tool. Consider this. If someone gets hurt or worse, there's no lawsuits, no footage, no outrage. The incident vanishes before anyone hears about it, and we haven't even mentioned the country's human rights track record. Saudi Arabia ranks 9 out of 100 for freedom, 1 out of 40 for political rights, and 8 out of 60 for civil liberties. Women only recently gained driving privileges. LGBTQ+ existence is criminalized, and reporters can be imprisoned for criticism. This isn't a nation recognized for transparency or security, and it's absolutely not where you'd expect a creator who documents everything to construct a theme park. But let's address what practically nobody wants to discuss, the construction workers. Because you can't construct a theme park, even a short-term one, without hundreds of construction laborers. And in the Middle East, that's a gigantic warning sign. Saudi Arabia has an extensive, disturbing history of exploiting migrant workers. We're discussing people laboring 12 to 15 hours under brutal heat, getting their passports seized, surviving in overcrowded facilities, and frequently not receiving payment for months. Some literally die during work with families never getting notified. Human rights organizations have labeled it contemporary slavery. So now mix that with a YouTuber sponsorship deal and it becomes genuinely disturbing. A flashy attraction constructed through exploitative labor, concealed behind strict censorship regulations, marketed as entertainment for supporters. No surprise, the internet backlash came this fast, because underneath all the pyrotechnics and vibrant visuals, Beastland wasn't simply another extreme YouTube publicity stunt, it was a partnership wrapped up in authority, profit, and suppression.
Dark secrets of the Qatar World Cup. The lack of human rights. Qatar still uses the kafala system. Essentially, this gives their employer control over their lives. They can take away their passport if they want to leave the country, forcing them to work in poor conditions and on a low wage. That low wage works out at about $275 per month. The Guardian reported that 6,500 migrants have died in Qatar since they won the bid for the World Cup in 2010. Whilst they are not all related to the World Cup, most of them were only there to build the infrastructure for it.
Let's examine some concrete statistics, because this goes beyond drama, it's genuinely tragic. Since 2017, more than 21,000 migrant workers have allegedly died constructing Saudi Arabia's massive infrastructure projects, and throughout Qatar's World Cup development, over 6,500 workers were confirmed dead during that identical time frame. That represents thousands of human lives sacrificed for stadiums and entertainment venues built on empty guarantees. Consider that for a moment. People are genuinely dying because governments worth trillions won't pay livable salaries or guarantee basic workplace safety. It's absolutely crazy. These are nations overflowing with petroleum wealth controlled by billionaire royal families, yet they're still operating labor frameworks that advocacy groups describe as modern enslavement. These aren't accusations. They're the brutal truth for thousands of laborers who never returned home. So when Beastland mysteriously appears from the desert sand, enormous attractions, industrial equipment, impossible construction timelines, people naturally wonder, who actually built this? Were they protected? Did they receive promised compensation? Was anyone injured? And since documenting or sharing incidents faces legal restrictions, we'll likely never discover the real story. That information blackout is terrifying. And here's what's interesting. Certain creators predicted this trajectory. When that counterfeit Healthy Lunchables partnership launched, Dan TDM posted, "What happened to YouTubers? You're peddling garbage to children for profit. Do better." And that criticism landed, because now what's Beastland accomplishing? Marketing bigger, flashier garbage to supporters who can't see what's actually underneath. Even Jacksepticeye called it out during his polygraph test segment. He stated he dislikes MrBeast because he transformed YouTube into something more focused on revenue and metrics than authentic enjoyment and genuine personality. And when you analyze Beastland from that perspective, it represents exactly that, a venture driven by profits, not genuine creativity.
Now Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like MrBeast?
No.
Jack, do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube?
Yes.
Now in all honesty, Jack, why?
Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
You just don't think he had fun playing Squid Games? You don't think he had fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know.
If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun.
Ooh.
Thought you were going to get me with that one, didn't you?
And Beastland represents the perfect example of that transformation, the exact moment YouTube abandoned authenticity and morphed into corporate advertising. Even PewDiePie recognized it approaching. When he reacted to that grind 10 years for success moment, it wasn't simply comedy, he understood what was approaching. Content creators aren't simply entertainers anymore, they're evolving into complete business empires.
In the span of a decade, a lot of people are very short-term sighted, but as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently.
Imagine like you're 9 years, still no one gives a shit about your channel, and you're like, one more year, here we go, one more year, here we go.
And we've arrived, the timeline where MrBeast has transcended being simply a YouTuber. He's evolved into a complete corporate empire. He's operating in food production, beverage sales, restaurant chains, mobile applications, artificial intelligence, and currently theme park development. The enjoyment, the unpredictability, the authenticity completely vanished. Currently it's focused on maximum company expansion and accelerated growth velocity, and personally, Beastland stands as the most obvious indicator of that that evolution. It's almost like he unintentionally revealed the corporate transformation of MrBeast. The creator who previously represented innovation and generosity has morphed into YouTube's inaugural mega corporation, and audiences are finally recognizing it. The supporters who previously viewed him as everyone's champion are currently understanding he's simply another profit-driven operation. Throughout recent years, scandal after scandal has accumulated, and currently, people aren't dismissing it anymore. This transcends rumors or online gossip currently. This represents genuine criticism regarding legitimate concerns, because Beastland isn't simply another product like Feastables or his restaurant chain. This venture had government backing. That's absolutely wild. And here's the reality. Beastland was never designed for permanence. It wasn't constructed as legacy building or fan appreciation, or a lasting establishment. It was engineered as a 45-day marketing campaign, a disposable installation designed to generate attention, achieve virality, then dissolve back into the desert. Once everything concludes, the attractions get disassembled, the lighting systems shut down, and the publicity evaporates like it never happened. But our concerns don't evaporate alongside it. If anything, this entire controversy validates what people have been suggesting for months now. MrBeast isn't simply a content creator currently, he's a corporation, an operation fueled by capital, perception management, and relentless expansion. The larger the empire becomes, the less genuine it appears. Currently, is MrBeast's career finished? Obviously not. The guy remains YouTube's dominant figure, but that invincible reputation he maintained, it's beginning to fracture. MrBeast was previously the undisputed champion, the YouTuber everyone supported, the individual who appeared exceptional. But currently people are scrutinizing him unlike ever before. So yeah, share your perspective about Beastland. Do you genuinely believe this was something he authentically constructed for fan enjoyment, or simply another enormous financial exploitation disguised attractively? Because let's be realistic, those Middle Eastern backers likely invested hundreds of millions into this agreement, but was accepting it ethically justified? That's the genuine question. Share your perspective in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your opinions. I personally read every single response, and while you're here, remember to like, share, and subscribe. It genuinely supports the channel and enables these investigative videos to continue. Stay protected, stay inquisitive, and I'll see you in the next video.